Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're embarking on a journey into something profoundly intimate. We're exploring the very foundation of who you are. Just think about it for a second. Your memories. They're nothing short of absolute biological magic. They're the personal lore of your life, the sweeping epics you tell about yourself. They form the bedrock of your identity and the foundation upon which you base every single decision about your future. Without them, you'd be forever trapped in a single, fleeting moment. But as we're going to discover today, the architecture of how we remember is far more dynamic and, honestly, a little more unsettling than you might. That forces us to ask an incredibly fundamental question. What actually is a memory? Like, how exactly is a fleeting moment in time, a brilliant sunset, a laugh with a dear friend, the smell of rain, somehow captured and stored inside squishy biological tissue in your head? It is genuinely one of the greatest mysteries of human biology. We are somehow taking abstract, weightless experiences and anchoring them into a physical, tangible reality right there inside the brain. Okay, let's dive right into this by completely shattering how most of us think our brains actually work. The common myth is that a memory is like a static digital photograph, right? You experience something, your brain snaps a quick picture, files it away in a dusty cabinet, and then when you want to remember it, you just pull up that exact same untouched file. But the reality is radically different. Your memories are actually a lot more like dioramas made of wax. And here is the crazy twist. Every single time you pull that wax diorama out and put it under the bright spotlight of your attention, it warms up. It begins to melt. It changes just a tiny bit. The very act of looking at the memory fundamentally alters it. Now, to really understand how this wax diorama works, we first need to step inside the incredible machinery of the brain itself. The human brain is, without a doubt, arguably the most complex object in the known universe. And the landscape of your mind is built on just a staggering scale. You have roughly 86 billion neurons. These are these breathtakingly complex, branching cells that form the fundamental hardware from which your entire conscious experience emerges. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that for a second. 86 billion individual biological processors. But the sheer number of neurons isn't actually what makes you you. It's how they talk to each other. These neurons form over 100 trillion connections. They communicate across these tiny microscopic gaps called synapses, using this incredibly fast electrochemical language. Electricity hits the gap, turns into chemicals, crosses the bridge, and turns right back into electricity on the other side. This busy, non-stop conversation is happening right now across a network that literally has 100 times more connections than there are galaxies in the observable universe. It's just mind-blowing. So when we zoom out from those individual connections, we start to see these sweeping patterns. Different parts of your brain act like different gears in a grand machine. Some process sound, some process color, others process language or emotion. When you experience a moment, these distinct gears fire together in perfect synchronization. We call this the assembly. Right now, the specific assembly of neurons firing in your brain is creating the exact experience of you watching this explainer. Your visual cortex is processing the imagery, your auditory cortex is hearing my voice, your language centers are decoding these words. That synchronized firing pattern, well, that is you, right now, in this exact moment. All right, moving into section 1, the crucible. Fighting for permanence. So an assembly on its own is just temporary activity. It's completely lacking in permanent substance. It's kind of like a ripple on a pond, right? The moment passes, the ripple fades, and absolutely nothing remains. If every single assembly just faded away, you would literally never learn or remember anything. For a fleeting moment to transcend time and become a permanent part of your personal lore, it has to enter a crucible. It has to fight for survival. Let's walk through the birth of a memory, which is essentially a fierce, unseen biological competition. Step 1. Right now, your brain simply cannot process everything happening around you, so different assemblies are constantly fighting for dominance. The hum of your refrigerator, the temperature of the room, the sound of my voice. Whatever you focus on wins the battle. Step 2. The winning assembly is bathed in special chemicals. These chemicals make the neurons more susceptible to change, tying them closer together. And finally, step 3. The grand librarian of your brain, the hippocampus, steps in. It creates a physical blueprint, saving the rough configuration of this winning assembly and carefully indexing it. And just like that, congratulations, you've just formed a memory. However, that newly forged memory blueprint is incredibly fragile. If it doesn't fight for its life, it will fade away, which is exactly why you have no idea what you had for lunch 43 weeks ago. So what actually triggers a memory to survive? Well, first is novelty.
A totally normal walk to the bus gets completely forgotten. But if you happen to see a crow and a squirrel getting into a dramatic, fully unhinged street fight over a nut, oh yeah, your assembly fires intensely. Second is repetition. If you're thinking about that wild animal fight all day, you are etching it deeper into your mind. Third is emotion, which we'll look at in just a second. And lastly, sleep. While you sleep, your hippocampus literally replays the assembly over and over and over again, solidifying the connections. This is absolutely crucial, by the way. If you skip sleep, you are quite literally choosing to forget your own life. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer power of emotion as an ancient survival mechanism. Emotions evolved hundreds of millions of years ago specifically to keep us alive. When you feel intense humiliation, like, say, acting completely foolish in front of a crush, your ancient brain immediately flags that as a major social danger, something vital for your survival. So it burns that memory into your mind to protect you. When you feel the pure, unadulterated joy of finally beating your dad at Mario Kart, your brain sees that as a successful hunt, rewarding you by safely storing the file. The devastation of losing a childhood pet, that's your brain deeply recognizing loss. You see, your brain doesn't actually care if the danger is a saber-toothed tiger or a video game. If it feels intense, the memory gets saved.
So when a memory finally checks all these boxes, when it has novelty, repetition, strong emotion, and a good night's sleep, the chemicals do their magical work. The neurons actually grow new synapses. They physically grow new teeth to fit tighter together. The melting wax cools down and completely hardens. And what you're left with is a permanent long-term memory, a beautiful diorama of hardened wax physically etched into the grand architecture of your brain, safe forever. Or, so it seems.
Which brings us to section 2, the metamorphosis, and why remembering changes absolutely everything.
Okay, so we just talked about how memories solidify, but what actually happens when we try to pull them back out into the light? It turns out that the very act of remembering is inherently an act of altering. Recalling a memory is not at all like loading up a video and pressing play. Remember that diorama of hardened wax? When your hippocampus finds the cue for a memory and activates it, that diorama is pulled right back into the bright spotlight of your conscious attention. And under that light, the wax gets warm again. The neurons involved are once again bathed in those exact same chemicals that made them moldable in the very first place. By simply thinking about the past, you make its physical structure incredibly vulnerable to the present moment. Let's trace this journey and see how this builds in real life using our squirrel fight example. On day 1, the actual event happens. You are actually pretty tired, kind of grumpy on your way to work, and honestly just mildly surprised by these animals fighting. But let's jump ahead to day 14. You pull that memory out at a party to tell your friends. You're laughing, you're having a drink, the mood is super light. Because the wax of that memory is currently soft and warm in your brain, the new, fun context of the party literally seeps into the neural connections of the story. The synapses physically reconfigure. So by day 15, when the memory hardens again, it is metamorphosed. It is now permanently funnier and way more absurd than the actual lived event ever was. Now, what's really fascinating here is it reveals a profound biological irony. We tend to trust our most vivid memories the absolute most, right? They feel incredibly strong, super detailed, and totally undeniable. But ironically, the more often you actively remember something, the more times it has melted down and been completely reshaped by the context of your life at that moment. The more you remember it, the less of the original objective truth actually remains. A memory being extremely vivid just means the neural assembly is incredibly strong. It absolutely does not mean the memory is factually correct. Your brain is just actively updating the past to fit the ongoing narrative of the present. Which leads us nicely into section 3, rewriting your lore. Initially, knowing that our most precious memories are slowly drifting away from objective reality might feel, well, a bit scary. It kind of feels like we're losing a grip on our own personal history. But I really want to reframe this for you. This isn't some biological bug. It is a profound, incredibly beautiful feature of human existence. It gives us the remarkable power of rewriting our own lore. So the absolute crucial point is summarized beautifully by this idea. Your memory system was never designed to create an accurate representation of the world. Your brain isn't a historian. It is an ancient survival engine. It's deeply intertwined with learning. It naturally updates your memories as you gain new experiences and wisdom, specifically because it wants to ensure that your past serves your present and protects your future. This constant state of alteration gives us incredible power over our own lives. It means that while an event might be deeply painful today, your future self will inevitably feel differently about it because your future self will quite literally rewrite it. And this is exactly why therapy is so incredibly effective. Therapy utilizes this precise biological mechanism. By purposefully pulling up a hurtful, hardened memory in a safe, supportive, and calm context, you are intentionally melting the wax. You introduce new, healthier perspectives, and as the memory cools back down, it hardens with a totally different, much less painful emotional weight. We can literally, physically rewire the architecture of our own brains to heal and to be genuinely happier. Our minds are not these locked vaults of static files. They are sweeping, living, breathing landscapes that change as we change. Your memories might be the epic lore of your life, but they are written in wax, not stone. As you grow, as you learn, and as you experience new and wondrous things, your past shifts right alongside you. You are not just the final product of your memories, you are the active author of them. And what that means, ultimately, is that you have the power to rewrite your own lore. So what story will you choose to tell yourself tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I'll see you in the next one.